All right, we get started. Count of three. 1, 2, 3. All right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hey, I'm Brother Brian here on the Voice of the Community, 106.7 FM. Hey, I'm back again. We're not on the road, but hey, I'm with Miss Keisha, the new owner of the education facility in Monroe. She has been so persistent and so busy. I guess that was the best way that I could present that, because you're all over the place, and I have to be like Superman in order to keep up with you. But first, good morning, Keisha. How are you?
Good morning. I am well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm above ground, so it's a great. You were in Monroe at the time, but now we want to dig a little bit deeper, try to find out where you are with the Transportation Academy. So tell us about where you are in the city of Monroe with individuals coming to visit the Transportation Academy.
Great. I am in the downtown area, actually in the process of looking for a bigger space to do the trainings as well as an upcoming CDL school. So that will require more space. So that's what I'm diligently working on. And things are moving right along. I am extremely excited. I'm very passionate about the moves that we're making as a whole. We are literally a one-stop shop. We will be doing consulting, business setups, training with freight brokering and freight dispatching, and then the CDL school should come shortly after the new year. So I am extremely excited about what we're bringing to the.
Okay, cool. Hey, I want to ask you a couple quick questions about the school itself. What classes or curriculum does the school actually offer that a person can set their expectation to receive after attending the school?
We will be doing logistics theory, educating people on freight transportation, which is $1 trillion industry. Most people think you have to drive a truck to be in the logistics industry, and actually you don't. You can buy a truck, our company can put a driver in it, you can make residual income. You can purchase a truck and you can become an owner operator. You can refer someone to us and make an income. So we do freight brokering and freight dispatching, which allows you to become an entrepreneur, a freight dispatcher, a broker. There are so many things that you can do in logistics. A shipping manager. So we are setting our sights on, just like my logo states, A to Z, putting you in a position to understand transportation. Our company can move freight, land, air, and sea. So we bring everything to the table when we train you. And the good thing about our academy is that you become a part of our family. So if you train with us, you literally, even if you branch out, you have us as a support system as you're moving along in your endeavor.
Okay. I know ever since I've met you, I've started really watching the diesel prices, and the diesel prices, if I remember maybe 10, 15, I can't really recall, but I thought they were so close to the fuel price, gasoline prices. But now I'm seeing that gasoline prices in Louisiana now is about $3.20 roughly. But now I'm seeing diesel almost $2 more per gallon, and I've never seen it like that. What is going on with the industry that it's increasing so much? Or
Well,
is it increasing?
yeah, it's definitely increasing. And that's why this training is so critical. Um, you have to know how to negotiate rates. You have to know what lanes you're going to run, when you're going to run. And we teach all of that at the academy. So instead of going 15 miles out of the way or 30 miles out of the way to get a load and you're getting the same price, we teach you how to negotiate to get that toll that you may have to go through, to get what we call a fuel surcharge included in the rate that you're getting. Yeah, everything is changing, but what we have to remember is although things are changing as far as prices, everything we have in our homes and any store that we go to comes off a truck,
Yeah.
which means we're not going anywhere, which means everything comes to a port in a container. Everything that we literally use from food to clothing to shelter comes off of a truck. So the industry is so vast. You have to be able to negotiate rates based upon the fuel. You have to be able to also learn how to communicate, build rapport, open those doors. And that's what we do at the Academy. We give you insight on how to be successful in your endeavors. Even if it's just being a shipping manager, you need to know how to bring those trucks and log that commodity in, make sure it's in good standards, so all of that is what we do.
Okay, good. I want to be able to fine tune that on a granular level. You were indicating roughly about the fuel costs, why it is so important to be cognizant of the fuel costs. And I think you're speaking to I have to break it down to what I do understand, and you can elaborate. It's
Uh-huh.
about supply and demand. And so in the trucking industry, I think they call it, I was told that you have to be very cognizant of the seasons because they call it loads slash the availability of trucks. I had a partner, he gave me an example, and I want you to elaborate that. He said, yes, yeah, he's lives here in Louisiana. He said he can go to Atlanta, pick up a extremely good paying load in Atlanta, but he'll take it to Iowa. But once he drops it off in Iowa, he will have to deadhead about 500 miles to go get another load. And he said that is not effective, nor is it efficient. And I think that's what you were speaking to is that, and these are the things that the school will teach you how to be a lot more efficient instead of just wasting time and money.
That's absolutely correct. The first thing is when you become a broker, you want to make sure, again, you're building relationships so you understand the seasons. So we know in Florida in the spring and the summer, oranges, right? So those oranges are going to move throughout the year. However, if they sit on that dock too long, when the season wants, everybody wants a good fresh orange in the spring and the summer, that's when you're able to negotiate that higher price because that shipper doesn't want that orange sitting on the dock rotting, right? So that's what our academy teaches us. We teach you how not to do the deadhead. So you mentioned Iowa. Iowa has potatoes and onions. So you have to understand your dispatcher or your freight broker will know what's coming out of that area. You'll know what season to ask for more money. You'll know what is nearby because you studied that area. You've studied other companies. You've made connections with other companies. So you don't have to do all of that headache. You should never send a truck one place without a load coming back prior to you even sending. But again, that goes with your lanes, with your rates, and with your relation.
Yes, yes. And I want people to understand the terminology deadhead means that you drop a load, and at that point, now you're trying to go to your next pickup location. It's like going to a traditional a job where you go to a job, you complete that job, now you got to travel so many miles to find more work. Instead,
Correct.
as the terminology you use, which is very vital, logistics of the industry to truly map it out. And so that you're only going a few miles, picking up, making every mile, as you say, I love your terminology. When the rubber, you say the rubber meets the road.
Rubber meets the road. Absolutely. You just, people say it all the time. You have to make it make sense because say you got $5,000 for delivering it way up there. It now turns into 2,000 because you're traveling all this way, miles, time, no load, so it defeats the purpose. So that's what our academy does. We show you, take this route. This will get you here faster. You might be able to drop and pick up right here. We look at all those dynamics and we teach you all those dynamics. It's not as simple as you just pick up a truck a load and you go somewhere. We want you to understand how to negotiate, how to build relationships, how to know your areas that you're going into. You have to look at weather. You have to look at federal motor carrier guidelines as far as time. So I can send someone way to Texas, and I may, not knowing, without my training, have my driver picking up a load within 3 hours of that load. But guess what? That ELD says he has to take off now for 10 hours, or he has to do a 36 reset. If you don't know that, you have now scheduled a load with a company that you will probably no longer have a relationship with because you didn't pick up their load and they need that load to get somewhere else within a certain period of time. So again, that's where that rubber meets the road, knowing what you're doing. And that's what we provide at TTA, logistics information. We teach you the ins and outs, and then we support you even after you're no longer with us. You know,
Okay, okay, I like that, Keisha. Hey, we're talking to Keisha, the owner of TTA Trucking Transportation Academy, right here in town in Monroe. And we were talking about the loads versus the truck versus the peak season, non-peak season, but ultimately attending the school, picking up this knowledge, the know-how, the skill set. Before we could do that, we gotta look at starting by getting or acquiring a truck. Now, some people say, hey, you should go ahead and get a brand new truck or go get a 4 to 5 year old truck. Tell us a little bit about the trucks. How long do these trucks last? And I know this is some of the things that we will pick up in the school, in the training, which is so important, but we jump right into the supply and demand. So we grasp that, we got the meats and potato of it, but now we want to go back. You know how we cheat sometimes, we go get the full course meal first. Now we got to get the appetizer first. Now we're ready for the appetizer, snack on it. So when we acquire the truck, because there's some good looking trucks out there. I mean,
they
what do you teach about the selection of the equipment?
Well, I'll say being an asset-based company myself, I've learned to trial and error. I think if you're first starting, you shouldn't go into debt, especially if you're not going to drive for yourself. You want to make sure you are making wise decisions, especially when it comes to your finances, because you're just getting started. So if you're not connected to a company that has contracts, you have to be very cognizant of what you will run, how long it will take for you to run, what loads you will run. So most people don't know that every 1,000,000 miles or close to 1,000,000 or a little after 1,000,000, you have to turn that engine over, which will probably cost you about $10,000. My suggestion is, which I wish I would have known 10 years ago when I got into the game, is to buy something used. Start out local. You know, don't do too much. Don't set yourself up for failure. Don't take on more, bite off more than you can chew. Who wants to go buy $150,000 truck with a shower in it? Would be nice, but if you want to be home every day, you're not going to make the money to pay for it. If you don't have contracts, usually people that just get their MC numbers, you sometimes have to wait with many of huge companies almost 90 days for certifications to come in to allow you the opportunity to even run their fleet. So I would say get something within a range of $30,000 to $50,000. Definitely nothing new. Make sure the tires are well. Have it completely inspected. Some people just go buy a truck. Drive that truck for 50 miles. Drive it for 100. You're paying for it. You should be able to do that. See if any, lights or bells or anything whistles that should be looked at. Maintaining a truck very, very expensive, even beyond the fuel. So it's important to be proactive, and it is definitely critical to bring your truck in every 60 days. But make sure you're doing your pre-trip inspections. Check your hoses, check your fuels, your fluids, check your tires, walk around your truck, make sure everything is in place and where it needs to be. I had a driver to pick up a load. Well, not pick up the load, but pick up the trailer. He didn't inspect the trailer, cost me an astronomical amount of money. We were going to pick up paper products. There was a hole in the trailer. And if the shipper had not looked inside of the trailer, which my driver should have done, he would not have seen the hole in the water in the trailer, which means these paper products would have cost me probably close to 50 grand. And so those are the things you have to be careful of when you're buying trucks, when you're making investments. And the first 30 to 60 days, the money looks great. I'm making $10,000 a week, you know, but hold on to it. So when you're on the side of the road, it's much different. It's not $150 tire. It's a thousand, 800 to $1,000 tire. It's not a $1.50 a mile for towing. It is like, you know, $2,000 to take you 10 miles, you know. So that's what's important in the game. But remember, logistics, you can make a lot of money without even knowing.
Yeah,
There's so much more to this that a lot of people don't really know.
yeah. And so I'm understanding a lot better now, the more time I spend with you, why the industry falls under the umbrella of logistics, because it's so vital to understanding each mile, how it works for you. The I would call it the gain versus the losses. But we spoke about the meat and potatoes, about how to earn a living. We spoke about the appetizer, about acquiring the equipment. Now let's get back to even us walking through the door to the restaurant. And I've heard you mention in the past about the entity structure. And I'm learning, as I mentioned, I'm learning so much why it's so important to attend the school and understand how to structure the entity, whether I'm going to be an investor or owner operator, because I'm hearing that even the simplicity of it, that when you go to the bank to borrow money, they may charge the investor a little bit more down if you're financing it versus an owner operator. So how deep do you all dig into that, into the school?
Well, here's an awesome thing about Truck and Transportation Academy. I have designed and structured an ecosystem that is literally a one-stop shop. If you want a truck, you go to one of my guys and get a truck. If you want funding, I have about 10 people in my ecosystem that will allow you the opportunity to apply for funding, help you get a truck, do everything that you need to do. So from ELDs to fuel cards to factoring, you will not have to leave TT, any of the above. We will hold your hand from start to finish. We literally set up your LLC, build business credit, help you get an MC, DOT number, build trade lines for you. We work diligently and we are structured for success.
I like that. I like that. Hey, TTA is an actual turnkey operation.
Yes.
Well, Keisha, you dropped so much on us. I don't want to dig too much deeper because I want to give you your time back. But on our next conversation, we're going to talk about this terminology that you're slowly, because of your expertise, you're dropping on us. DOT number, MC number, ELD. So we're going to break that down on our next conversation. But how do the people reach out to you to acquire more deeper knowledge in order to sign up?
Great. You can go to my website, which is www.truckingtransportationacademy.com. You can give us a call at 833-TTA-2022 and just bit of information. You can literally go to the workforce. We are active, participating providers with reciprocity throughout the country. So you can go through workforce, you can sign up for the program, and literally, if you qualify, have
Okay, well, let's take a couple more minutes, break that down. That's very important because
yes,
all education it costs. Even nationally, we start hearing things about the president is now allowing people with student loans to have it deferred or what do they call it, removed or forgiven.
yeah.
But you're stating that with some of the governmental programs right now, they will assist with the financial aspect of the training. Tell us about that because TTA is actually have done so much background work to making it much more available and affordable to people in the state of Louisiana.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of times felons are coming out of prison and they don't think they have an opportunity to become entrepreneurs. And a lot of times in impoverished areas, people don't have the hope that they need to think, hey, I can go. They want to come, but they can't afford it. And so my curriculum has been given an exemption with the Board of Regents in Louisiana. And I have applied to work with the workforce as a participating provider. and I have been approved, which means someone coming out of prison or someone without a job or coming from an impoverished area, they can literally go through the workforce and workforce will help them with grants and funding, attend my academy. So it's a win-win situation across the board for everybody. Of course, you can walk in and pay for it yourself if you're able to, but I designed this to get into areas and teach people how to become successful and productive citizens in the community. Learn about the different areas of logistics and what better way than you can get some assistance to help.
I like that. I like that. Hey, that's pretty powerful. Returning citizens can actually acquire very livable wages by becoming self-employed, and they are so vital in the community because they end up hiring other individuals that are returning citizens, and so make all individuals a better livable environment. I like that.
Absolutely. We're reducing recidivism and, we're stopping the cycle of, I come from the projects in New York. I understand the dynamics of struggle. Giving a person an opportunity is so important. We all make mistakes, but hey, how many people really believe sitting in prison that they can become entrepreneurs or shipping, dispatchers or brokers or operations managers? Even having an LLC, being a business owner. We do it all here. We do everything from operating agreements to opening bank accounts in your business name. So again, we are structured with an ecosystem that is designed for success.
I like that. I like that. The more we like, once again, the more you and I chat, you triggering thoughts in my mind, and it's so important because people, as you mentioned, you came from a struggling childhood, been able to identify and work through it, and so you understand. You have so much. I mean, so much experience. You have some law enforcement experience, and so you have firsthand knowledge of individuals that were behind bars. They were spending time. You listened to them because of your training. CBT, cognitive behavior training. And so it sounds like the school you've actually developed and you're creating, it changes a person's past behavior in order to increase a future performance. And that's the only thing we ask for, is for individuals to become viable citizens in the community. And once again, you mentioned reduce recidivism.
Absolutely. You change the thinking, you change the behavior. You know, it's just that simple. Don't have anything, not going to do anything. But if you give someone an opportunity to change, it changes the game.
That's right.
It's
Change
a
it.
game changer.
That's
Yeah.
right. Well, KIEZ, I sure appreciate the time. Is there anything else you want to share with the family before we get out of here?
No, I just thank you for this opportunity. Anybody that's ready to jump in the logistics game, please feel free to give us a call. Go to the website. We are looking forward to growing in Monroe and ultimately franchising TTN. So if you want to know about logistics, want to know about the industry, set up your business, hey, we're ready. Again, this is where the rubber meets the road.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have an awesome day. Appreciate you.
You too.
Bye-bye.